see the IV control from both teams and how they work it, because that'll really put a strain on the how CT side, how their CT side is going to run, and like the strain that IV control will put on the CT side.
We shall have to see. Yeah, I mean, Ivy was barren for Liquid, especially on their T half. I think they went there one time. We already discussed that with JDM and Hiko pushing it. So I definitely feel like NaVi will be utilizing that side of the map a lot more. Plus, with Train being a fairly dominant map for AWPers, I think that we'll see Guardian, potentially Simple, running with it if they go for like a double op setup, which is definitely not unheard of on the CT side. So I'm very curious to see how that one's going to come to play. Teams like Flipside, for example, will run with a double up setup every single time they can. Obviously, Flipside not quite the same level of caliber of team as NaVi, but it's definitely out there. It's a play that a lot of teams will go for if they need to.
Yeah, I think that NaVi is most dangerous when Simple and Guardian both have an op. They can just shut down so much. Like one guy at the B site, one guy at the A site is just like. And just the straight fear that, like, hey, there could be an offer anywhere on the map right now, and, like, it just changes how the terrorists will approach the map, knowing that there could be an op at any angle. It'll really, you know, you have to pop flash more things, you smoke, so it'll, you know, put some stutter steppiness into the T sides.
So I don't know if you've been keeping like up to date with it, but what's kind of mind blowing to me is that the Models are currently top of Group A with 2-0. So they're Models. They're above G2, above Liquid, above NaVi. So, I mean, a lot of people I think would have put maybe G2, Astralis, and NaVi to come through this group in the top 3. But Models are now in a position where it's very unlikely they'll get knocked into 4th place now.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, NaVi is probably a favorite to get out of the group, and then after that, like, between the rest of the teams, those last 2 spots could be up for grabs. I mean, Astralis is probably a favorite as well. Between like Liquid, Immortals, and who am I missing here? Oh, G2.
Yeah.
I think that was up for grabs. But not surprised. Like Immortals is really good on Cobble actually, and they just like I guess laid out G2, but Immortals Cobble is insane. And I wonder if Immortals is like basing a lot of their T sides off of what Zeus left, or if like Steel is calling completely different. They're probably kind of calling the same stuff they've had for a while and just like slowly integrating Steel, but I mean he could be just straight calling. Haven't really got to watch them like too closely to see how much they differ.
Well, we shall have to see as the tournament progresses. I mean, it's one of those kind of scenarios as well where, you know, we're discussing this before. But NaVi, although C's obviously been a member of the roster for quite some time, obviously with the whole coaching situation with NaVi being so, I wouldn't necessarily say that they were so dependent on Starix, but he's certainly a massive part of their shot calling, a massive part of their calling just across the board, reactive and otherwise. So it's also important to see how C's is going to, you know, perform in that leader role, because we saw this on Mirage. He did definitely have a dip. His performance wasn't too fantastic. So curious to see if he can step back up to the plate. It's something we discussed earlier. Like I think if NaVi want to go the distance in this event, then they're definitely looking at some members that have been performing a little bit poorly to step up to the plate.
Yeah, T sides were definitely more clean when Zeus was on the team, but then you have more firepower with Simple. So yeah, it's definitely tough.
Right, here we go.
Game leader.
I think we're about ready to go live. I hope that we're finally here. Kind of got a bit trolled, ripping pepperonis, but finally we are here. No more warm-up for us. I'm not sure if this is the knife round. I think it may very well be the knife round. Yeah, it's going to be the knife round, judging for where the CTs are right now. So obviously the winner of this is likely going to go CT side. That much is pretty much clear. And Astralis put down 14 rounds just previously against Liquid on their CT side.
Yeah, I'd like to see Astralis on CT side again. But maybe.
The melee players are 2 right clicks away from death, and NaVi will take the CT side. More than likely. So now Astralis, now we get to see more of what the T side has to offer, because we really didn't see a great deal of it in the last match. Yeah,
I can't even remember what T-side pistol Astralis ran last time. Yeah, happen to remember what T-side pistol they were in?
I think they played slow on to B. They played slow around upper, and then they went down ramp, I think, for a full-on B.
I thought that was liquid.
I could very well be wrong, dude, to be honest. My memory is shocking. I know one of the teams had that
I can't
strat.
remember the pistol round for Astralis. I don't know. Just can't remember it.
Well, I guess we'll be enlightened again soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay, here we go. We are live. So let's see what Astralis have in store, how much utility they're going to pick up. Device is going to get some. Anyone else interested right now? There's a smoke for Glaive.
It's kind of interesting that Device is the one to get an 8 set.
Yeah.
Rather than like a more, you know, like Device is your all-star, clearly. But...
Right, here we go then. Device going to be setting up for the smoke, and they're actually going through the Ivy side. Now, whatever happened in the first pistol, I'm pretty sure neither team went for Ivy in the previous matchup that we casted. So anyway, let's see how this is going to play off. Then Dupree, Zipex, and Kiabi all going to be funneling their way through. Seized is going to hear the footsteps and tries to back himself away, relocating for some maybe one taps for that USP. His partner in crime of Guardian has gone down alongside him. Definitely not the trade that they were looking for. And now Flamey alongside Simple have a huge amount of work to do. Flamey does spot a bunch of them on the backside, but unable to connect any of the dots. And Astralis now, surely in this position, they just outright win the rounds. I can't see how 2v5 works out here for NaVi.
Yeah, Astralis got pretty cleanly into Ivy there and just got to explode on all the CTs. Just Flamey left. Has a kit, actually, but this is too much to handle.
Ooh, mid-air shot by Glaive. Nicely done. 2 kills on the board for him. Astralis in winning ways once more. NaVi, question is, how many Deagles are we going to see? And like, I wouldn't surprise me if we see full-on Deagles here across the board. Map like Train, certainly worthwhile. 3 so far. 5-7 for Seized. Flamey with a 5-7 on top of it. Astralis, though, only 1 SMG.
Guardian doesn't have an R8.
Oh, he traded it out.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man. So, is that just some BM against Tyloo, then? Does he realize, like, we're against Astralis, they're a better team. Better pick up the Deagle.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem like it was an accident, because he actually ended up buying it, too.
Yeah. Well, doesn't have it for this one anyway. 5-7 in Ivy. Only Flamey by himself with the 5-7 on B in the meanwhile. So 4-1 formation. No early shenanigans by Astralis, but now they're going to start to come on down through ramp. The Flash is going to be out in front. Zipex with the first frag. Guardian's going to try and land with a Deagle. This is why we said he's such a good Deagle player. 2 1-taps. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he would have been able to pull that off with the R8, but here comes Kiabi with the AK-47. I'm pretty sure he landed the shot into Simple through Edward. So that's just adding salt in the wounds. And now Seized could be the key man as he is looking to flank round the back, but he's walking. He's maybe not going to be fast enough. He's just scared in case he makes a move and they hear him on the approach. I think Astralis probably done enough now to just outright win this round. Maybe look for some exits, see if they can...
Seized is just camping in bathrooms here already. He's just not going for it at all. So yeah, they're just going to take these guns to the next round. Deagles, pistols. And the way Astralis took into there, it's very good. Like, they're not smoking down lower ramp and waiting for the smoke to bloom. They just throw 1 pop flash through the window. So he's trying to get an entry or a kill or a gun there at the end, but dying. But they throw 1 pop flash through the window, and then they just post and jump down lower ramp, and that allows you to get like super far range battles and cut the rotate off of Z. Because if you smoke the sidewalk, the CTs can get out of Z and then get really close up with their pistols, which is obviously you know, you want to keep your distance. So by not smoking the sidewalk there, it's a smart play by Astralis.
Oh, this Guardian and his Deagle, we saw what he was capable of doing with those 2 1-taps earlier on. He still has it in his hands. Maybe there was a way into this round for the NaVi squad. Does spot himself a player, but gets tagged up significantly. I think that may have been Device with his Mac 10, who's now ripping through out onto the site. 2 frags for him. Maybe a third one is forthcoming, and indeed it is. There's so much money in the back pocket. Guardian, the last player to fall. Astralis with a very clear-cut 3-0 start. Nicely done.
The only SMG fragging out. That's awesome. Device making some bank, grabbing an op here. Let's see what Device Let's just see what they do first gun round. Actually, like see how much more loose they're going with if they go with a set strat.
I think this is where we're really gonna see what both teams have to offer now that the rifles are in play with the AWPs.
See right off the bat, Device smokes 5-6 train, flashes over mid. CT Zipnix is jumping down lower ramp. Flamey gonna get that entry though.
Wow, that aggression just not paying off at all for Astralis. Flamey though has whiffed out on the smoke. It's going to cost him his life. No, it's not. Next kill comes down. Beautiful transfer onto Dupree after he lands a headshot onto Kievi. Fantastic play. 3 kills in total by Flamey, and he picks up a second AWP. I was curious how soon we'd see it. Well, the answer's in round number 5. And that's one hell of a turnaround for NaVi.
Yeah, Flamey getting that 1 kill and able to stay alive and back off is massive. So, great job by Flamey there staying alive.
Second AWP has gone to Simple. This is what I was looking to see. He's currently been able to add a kill to this map, but still early days, of course. Plenty of time to turn that around, and then some. Peering up on bot doors. There we go. He's going to land himself his first kill. And an important one at that, as Apex has gone down.
Yeah, Simple's like this super aggressive opera that can like open up and change rounds, and then you just have like your super solid, consistent Guardian. So it's like a good like Device just a 2K.
And a third. Right. Oh my goodness. He peeked out a teammate to kill Guardian, who was looking up Ivy, then lands a no-scope. Wants the player that looked to re-aggress him. Super sick play by Device. Just as we're thinking, okay, Simple's got the opening pick, this is NaVi's way back in. This would almost be the absolute nightmare for a CT side to finally win a round and be instantly reset.
Yeah.
To be 4 behind and not looking good for anymore.
Yeah, Dupree gonna molly off Z, and I mean, Simple has the hop here. He's just gonna have to save, bring this into the next round. Luckily, 4 people survived last round, so they will probably force if he can stay alive.
Oh, that's probably his life ended, courtesy of Glaive. The Grim Reapers came to collect. And as we highlighted before, this is really the nightmare for the CTs. They're finally get themselves on the board. It's looking pretty good. They have double up setup. They get the opening pick, and then everything landslides against them. So
yeah, they're just going to want to save here for sure.
They just don't have anything, really. Just Deagle pretty much on the hands of Guardian. See if we can get anything done with it. Last time, in a similar position, he wasn't able to.
Nice little opening kill there.
All players stacked on A. Got a P250. Sees does a backflip and breaks his neck on the way down. That looked pretty brutal. Guardian now, last player left alive. 1 on 5. I would be ecstatic if he could pull this off. If he could pull off some crazy miracle play, but it's just not looking good, is it? Pause already in for NaVi as well.
I mean, this pause right now is definitely nothing tactically, because, I mean, you've only played 2 gun rounds, pretty much. So this is just going to be like, let's chill out, just play our game kind of tactic. I don't think they would have to throw anything crazy at them.
Yeah, just more of like a calming presence then, do you think, for people?
Yeah.
That might be getting a bit
I think it's worth it, especially when you have 4 timeouts nowadays. Like, you know, you're losing, just take a timeout.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I certainly think there's definitely merit to that. Oh, Guardian. Last second loses his Deagle, not a huge deal at the end of the day. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially when you have players that are notoriously quite hot-headed, you know, across the board, definitely doesn't hurt matters to just take a collective deep breath and just say, okay,
yeah,
boys,
exactly.
we're 5-1 behind, sure, it's not great, but we're not out of this game yet, you know, there's still plenty more CS to be played.
Yeah, it gives time for C's to think as well. To, you know, change any strategy, being a new game leader. So having these extra pauses is nice for him. But Astralis is looking insane. I mean, the only round they lost was when they were trying to be a little bit gimmicky and run away with the map. But then the second round they just played default, let their, you know, star players do work, and Device comes up with a 3K. But yeah, I mean, right now I don't think Astralis is probably just going to play a default game, not be too gimmicky, because, you know, I don't think they need to. They got punished already for it. And they should be good. Double ops coming out again for NaVi.
thing as well in this game, the importance of this match is pretty huge. Both these teams are around the same point. You know, with the Mortals playing so well off the bat, Simple is going to pick up the first kill. But this is a key kill. This is a key map of CS right now. And Device is going to return fire as Guardian goes for a delayed peek.
Yeah, and look, 2 AKs are already walking up Ivy. So this is where taking Ivy makes the CT side setup very awkward. And it just crumbles. And this is what it should be like.
Man, NaVi just look lost at this point. The way they're playing, the peaks, the lack of cohesion and unity, this is growing. Something does not seem right for NaVi.
Yeah, Device had an angle posted at Ivy, and if you have an opera posted up there and the other opera peeks into him, like the guy posted is always going to win that battle, unless for some reason he whiffs. But yeah, it's super dangerous re-peeking Ivy because you can have an opera like Device just posted, and if you peek at all for any kind of information, Device will punish you. So like if the terrorists are working Ivy, it's just super tough to like even grab the info. Like, hey, are they even working it? Like, and then like, just Ivy just offers so many opportunities to make the CT sweat.
As rough a start as you could really ask for, NaVi are currently in a very serious, tenuous predicament.
Yeah, I think just Astralis is just playing like out of their minds right now.
True, yeah, they take nothing away from Astralis. They've been fantastic. I mean, if they were to pull off a huge victory here, that's twice in a row. They've beaten decent squads, you know, and convincingly so. 16-1 against Liquid into a 6-1 lead, looking like it could be a whole lot more. Clearly, Train is a map that you have to take Astralis very seriously on. And just Deagles and the P250 really is going to hold off against Astralis in a 7th round. It's hard to see how NaVi can do that, really.
Is this Astralis' second map or third?
I believe this is their third. I think they're 1-1 right now.
Okay.
I think NaVi are also 1-1. So it's such a massive map. So yeah, Skibby with the first kill, charging his way through team main. They are going to be meeting Flamey, but how many one-taps can he land? There's one, administering one with pixel precision, but no more will be following it up, leaving it down to C's to come through the smoke and see what he can get done. Device is already ripped through Simple, leaving Edward and C's both on the same side of the map in Ivy, trying to traipse through the smoke out into the open. And that's pretty much the end of the round. Edward's been spotted, he's been fragged, 7-1 Astralis. And NaVi, they're not looking too convincing.
Yeah, nothing really to say there. Just a save round out of NaVi. Didn't get scary at all for Astralis, played it well. He's having a rough one here.
Surely off these two performances, this has to be an insta-ban now against Astralis for the rest of the tournament.
Maybe. I mean, they're looking hot.
Looking super good. Glaive clearly doing a great job right now with those strats. Device picks off the head of Edwards just as NaVi start to get some weapons back in their hands again. That's not the opening 10 seconds, not the passage of play that you were looking for. We're on the side of NaVi. And we are seeing Astralis with a lot more IV control. You know, we were curious about this. We were curious about will we see these guys have more of an impact on the side of the map. Absolutely, we are. Dupree's there right now with Device. You've seen this consistently happen. Guardian's been picked off 2 or 3 times. He's not had the greatest day with the AWP.
Yeah, I mean, just look how the CTs have to play outside right now. You have Guardian trying to manhandle teammate and ladder. Then you have C's just watching Ivy from just passively in hell. So this is going to be a scary sandwich that's going to happen onto NaVi. It's going to have to be a big individual performance that saves this round.
Double crossfire stack from the Danes as they're peering out of Ivy. You can see Seized here is desperately trying to hold position. Problem is 1 smoke or 1 flash and he's pretty much useless here.
Yeah, this is going to be tough for him to multi-frag.
It's not even going to get 1 from his troubles. Down he goes. And that should open the floodgates now for the rest of Astralis to burst away through. Flamey with his M4A4. Up from the staircase and spawn. And Device will whiff that shot, but it really doesn't make a difference. They know where he is, and it will be an 8th round to Astralis. It's hard to really get hype about this match. It is a complete shutout.
Yeah, I mean, that is just a beautiful round of CS from Astralis. Is, you know, getting Ivy control, pushing back the CTs, playing making them play passive. You have Seized in Hell, Guardian on the bomb train, and just, you know, pitching from all three spots is just super tough. And, you know, like I said, unless someone goes absolutely massive on the CT side, like, you're just gonna get sandwiched and traded 1-for-1 at the you know, the best. So, very, very good T side in default coming out of Astralis there.
Seized, I think you highlighted it just a few moments ago. He's having a rough day. 0-1-8 on train. He didn't get a whole bunch of frags the last time we casted him either. Max 7 for Edward. It is a half buy, affording him a buy in the next round, but we're getting to that point now, Eric. I don't know if you agree or not, but we're getting to that point where, I mean, you've just got to start winning rounds. So NaVi are going to be coming up short.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting a little bit scary. Like, no doubt NaVi can have a pretty insane T side, but Astralis is just playing flawless right now. They're not rushing anything. They're just, after that one gimmicky round where they tried scrimming through the smoke lower, they've been just playing super slow and just like perfect CS.
He's trying what he can on main with the deagle. The flashbang is going to force him to back away into the Molotov, but it's actually going to be the bullet that ends his life. Meanwhile, Device chimes in with an up frag. Didn't quite see that, but judging from your reaction, it was pretty tasty. 3 kills, and Edward's going to go down next. Astralis just continuing to leap forward.
Yeah, wait, oh, all 5 people survived, so just another super clean round for Astralis. Double ops again. 3rd time's the charm. Wow. And Simple actually has two frags, and both of his frags were actually really good openings to the round. But other than that, like, it's been pretty quiet as well. Yeah, that's how tight of CS they're playing right now. It's just super clean. Look at this. They're just doing some cheeky jumping at Ivy. But every round, look at this Ivy pressure. Just super good default, making the CT sweat, making them super uncomfortable. Let's see where this ends up here for Astralis. Yeah, it kind of either forces them to play passive or be aggressive and try to challenge Ivy, which is, if Device, if you're looking at him, he's waiting for that aggression, and he'll punish it if someone peeks. Yeah, Astralis was just looking forward, never had to worry about more than one angle, never had to look behind themselves. Look at Guardian, he has to worry about Ivy. Like, he's going to be scoping, like, doing 360s to make stuff happen, 180s, whatever. So, I mean, they're in a tough spot. Astralis is working them right now.
22 seconds. NaVi have yet to really have to deal with a great deal of terrorist aggression, but Edward is going to be peering around the corners, lands himself 1 frag. Maybe we're finally going to have something to talk about here for NaVi, or perhaps not. 10 seconds, and Seized has gone down next. Oh, it's just never ending.
Yeah, the trade codes are so real there, like, because you had just so many people from so many different angles pinching T-main, Ivy. Like, people out Ivy got out of Ivy and knows no information that they actually are out Ivy and shooting people in the back. So, I mean, the trade kills are super on point there because they're just coming from every different angle. But for a second there, NaVi had some life.
Apparently I had my mic muted, ripping Pepperoni's voice.
Wait, what?
I'm a scrub streamer. I had my mic muted for a little while. Hopefully not for too long. It's like Rick Mattis.
That's great.
Brilliant. My bad, boys. I mean, there hasn't been too much to see in this map, though, to be completely honest. Astralis have just continued to show how impressive they are. And NaVi have just been out to sea. Here we go, Guardian. 2 frags. Do go the way of NaVi. It's going to get instantly answered back on with Zipex with 3 of his own. And now the Deagle's coming into play to do a bit more damage, but it's simple now when they're 1 on 3, and he's not quite shown the level of player that he is today either. Hasn't had the standout performance that maybe I was looking for. 3 and 12 right now. That's pretty painful.
Device is 17 and 2, and I think at one point versus Liquid he was like 20 or 16 and 4, 20 and 4, something like that. So device is super on point right now.
Very well played indeed. 17-2, Dupree 15-2.
Maybe Liquid can look at this match and be like, okay, we lost 16-1, but Astralis is just nuts.
And if we're looking at the positives, Astralis got their 14 rounds on CT side. They're wrecking NaVi on their T side. So, if we're trying to look at positives for Liquid's perspective.
Yeah. I mean, this is a must-win round for NaVi right now.
It's do or die, ultimately, at this stage. I mean, they've got to get 4 rounds on this half. They are good for 1 trade kill, but Simple now is going to have to put on a clinic as he scutters towards the sights. Kirby is going for the plant. There's the double spray. Bomb does get planted, however. This means that Astralis don't have to worry about forcing the way onto the site and getting that down. So that's half the struggle has gone their way. They also have a Molotov, which could be thrown out. Dupree around the corner. There's War looking for a second. He will connect it as well. It's all on Edward. He knows where Dupree is roughly, but round the back comes Zipex for 2 frags. And Astralis, even in the close rounds, they're edging out NaVi.
Yeah, I mean, that round right there even reminded me of the Liquid match. Just like, the other team has the advantage, and Astralis just clutches the round. Insane play. Pop flashing himself through the pop dog smoke, catching a blind opper, and then someone else is blind, jumping around with a knife out. Just some good plays from Astralis right now.
Zipex out with the rest of his brethren to try and aggress onto the CTs. And aggress they shall. Glaive with a kill onto Simple. Cease is in the left-hand side of Zipex, who, yeah, I was about to say that Molotov has his name written all over it. It's going to be forced out into the open, and in doing so, Zipex will oblige in kind. Flamey with Edwards. Just trying to hold onto the site, quite literally, jumping up and down on top of it. Flamey's going to go for the spray with the M4. Not going to get it done, but that's going to leave Zipex all by himself. Flashbang lands in his eyes, but he will get the frag onto Guardian just before the flash detonates. And down he goes afterwards. So NaVi finally get a second round on the boards. Probably not going to be good enough, though.
Yeah, no, I think that was the first round I saw Device miss a shot. But, yeah. Just barely winning that, too, to be honest.
1 for 13 for Seized. Oh, man. It's pretty rough. Device, in the meanwhile, is edging ahead once again, 18-4. Aggressive play by Flamey, so this is one of the things that we were discussing before. One way to counteract the Ivy aggression is to fight fire with fire. But he's going to hide behind the box instead. Guardian will open up his account into this round with a second frag onto T main. I thought Edward may be able to pick that frag from underneath him. Meanwhile, Kirby pushing an Ivy is going to get caught with his pants down as Flamey goes in for the kill. That will force the hand of Glaive and Zipex, who don't want to wait around any longer. They've got a bit of information for the rest of their team. They're going to force their way onto the site. There goes the first kill. Zipex is still charging on top of the train. Down he goes, leaving Glaive in a 1-on-4. He has the bomb. He should be able to get this pick onto C's. Actually sprays through and lands the headshot. But is this realistic? Surely not, especially as Edward's behind him.
Yeah, no way. Okay. But that was the answer NaVi needed at Ivy right there, but just way too late, right? Guardian posts up, finally gets a pick at Ivy there, and then that opens, the window for Flamey to just sit behind that little E-box at Ivy and just get someone with a flash out, and finally shutting down the Ivy, but it's too late. It's been done.
I think it's fair to say this is a must-win pistol round for NaVi if they want to have any chance at bringing this back. Have to take this pistol. Let's see how they approach it. Seemingly Seized and Flamey will be moving up onto the Ivy side. Rest of the team charging through for the time being onto ramp. Simple up on the ledge. I thought he was going to drop down into ramp, but not quite just yet. I'm curious what the two players in IV showed, Ren. Is this a case of like some kind of a fake being played, or are they just there for scouting?
I mean, maybe they're gonna plant on the side of the bomb train inner so that it's exposed from back lanes, and these Ivy guys will push back lanes into CT spawn, and with a good bomb plant, they'll be able to kill anyone defusing. But Guardian has the smoke above ladder, and he's gonna be smoking out Ivy, I believe. Yeah, he just smoked Ivy, right side Ivy. So it's just gonna allow the Ivy guys to get back hall.
This also looks like it could very well sell a fake if those two players now make a lot of noise and push through, because you can see the rest of NaVi, and more importantly, Edward with the bomb in his hands, is currently in Boxhall. So the question now is how well can Seized and Flamey sell this fake? And is it going to take any CTs off the site? It's looking like it's going to take at least one of them off there. Glaive comes in, but now here comes the push onto the site itself. The issue lays in the fact they didn't get any kills in this fake. So now they've got the bomb planted. It's unlikely they'll be able to hold on to it. Here comes the push from behind Dupree. Even if he doesn't land any frags, he's buying up enough time for the rest of his team to get onto the site anyway. And he is going to land himself 2 kills in total. Bomb will get defused. And that's going to be all she wrote, you have to feel, for NaVi. They surely got the bomb planted. Probably not enough.
Yeah, with the fakers at Ivy not getting any kills, that puts a lot of pressure on the 3 terrorists at inner. And Simple tried pushing up to the back lanes. He got 1 frag, and he was like, that's the play that needed to be done from Simple. Like, unfortunately, he couldn't get any more, but it's a very big ask of him to get like 2 or 3 kills pushing the back lanes. And, you know, that's just putting a lot of pressure on this terrorist and not able to come up big in the 3v5.
Astralis with heavy investment into this round, as you'd expect, just one SMG. A reoccurring theme today. Ed was making noise on the ladder. Glaive did just spot his kneecap. And the lower half of his leg going back up again. So he's going to hold his position for now. NaVi not forcing into this. He'll be playing off the 14-3 more than likely with AKs. But then that leaves no room for error. Pretty much got to get back-to-back rounds from there on out to the victory. And Glaive will put down Simple. Really, NaVi's mission that they've accepted is just get a second bomb plant. And Zipex is going to try his best not to let that become a reality. Here's the first goal with UMP. Too many players around him, wasn't able to connect dots on anybody else. And now Caesar to go for that bomb plant. Can NaVi stop him? No, he can't. But of course, it will be the round to Astralis all the same. So NaVi is pretty much going to have to get 12 rounds in a row if you want to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess mission complete there from Seized. Getting the bomb plant, that's as much as you can ask for. And then, yeah, this has to be the streak right here. See if we get a naked op from Guardian. I'm gonna pause and think about it. I think you have to get an op, even if you don't have armor. I think Guardian should get an op here.
Let's see. He is going to get the op. I think it was dropped by Edward.
Yeah, so he actually gets armor too.
Yeah. That's putting a lot of eggs in the Guardian basket, and that probably puts Edward into a pretty rough situation. Well, at the very least, he doesn't have Kevlar. That much is sure. But does he have any weapons?
He's got an AK on the floor.
AK on the floor, right. So it's going to be armorless AK. Right, here we go. Live again. Astralis on the brink of taking their second consecutive big result on train. They're 16-1 already in their back pocket with a potential 16-3 coming up. Guardian aggression up in box halls. Hasn't spotted anyone just yet. And very reminiscent to how Astralis opened up their T rounds. Double player stack in Ivy. Simple again on the ledge of ramp. Been here before in the pistol rounds. Will the result be the same?
Yeah, C's putting some Ivy pressure, mollying it, smoking it. He didn't smoke it actually, just spammed through the smoke, throwing a molly down, and then he's gonna dip. So he kind of ghosts Ivy and letting the CTs know that there is someone Ivy. He's gonna throw a 5-6 smoke, and it looks like they're gonna end at inner here.
Flash down and ramp, trying to keep the CTs interested. And it will keep 2 players there, which will be Glaive and Zipex. Still 3 smokes for NaVi, so easily enough to execute onto B with. It looks like that could be on the cards fairly shortly. Guardian's holding on to his smoke, probably going to wait for that Molotov to disperse before aggressing it any further. It's about to go now. And here comes the play. Guardian out. It's going to be the aggression through Catwalk from Edward and Seized, who both pick up kills. A crisp take. Astralis not budging a muscle in Pop Dog. Dupree's just going to hold position. I wonder if Astralis, realizing they've got a huge buffer of rounds, see no real reason to even attempt the retake here.
Yeah, I think they just saved this here. That was actually some really clean flashbangs for Inner. The guy at Oil Train was absolutely blind and just stuck, so great little execute there from NaVi. And yeah, I mean, if they can get kills here, it'd be really awesome. But they can just save their guns as well.
It's a curious case of NaVi, though. They win New York, and since then, they've been on kind of a downward trajectory. I'm still waiting for them to regain some momentum.
And that was when Simple just joined the team, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they played like a more of a loose style, like Simple just, you know, just ran around the map, got some frags, and since C's was pretty much new to the in-game leader, you know, maybe they just played more of a loose style, and I don't know, it just seems like now they have more time together, they're just not looking as sharp.
So a 10-round deficit. Astralis Stowe for me playing the long, patient, intelligent game. May not even be long, to be honest. If they win this, they're on the brink of victory anyway. But no point forcing the issue. Put them into a situation where NaVi could close the gap somewhat. And more of the same. Same positions being assumed by Astralis. NaVi again running with Flamey and Seized up on the Ivy side. Currently in the alley more than anything else right now, but they can easily push their way in there. And Dupree can hear footsteps, but it doesn't really tell him a great deal with 1 minute and 25 to play with. Like, for all he knows, they're forcing B. For all he knows, he's just going to sit around and wait for the next minute.
Yeah. Right now, they threw a one-way smoke at lower ramp, baiting any utility. They're clearly not going with it here, but just using anything that Astralis has. But they don't really have too much. It's a couple flashes, 2 smokes, and a molly.
Here comes the pop. Edward is going to get 1 kill, which is surprising because that flashbang looked like it landed in his eyes. So 1-point trade, all things considered, is not terrible for NaVi. But Astralis now may be able to stave off this push. 45 seconds left on the board. One still dropped. Is easily picked up by NaVi, though.
I really like that Astralis is gambling here. They're putting 3 players in here, and they're saying, if they don't come in here, we'll just save.
Yeah, they're afforded that luxury by being so far ahead, right? So they can afford to play it that way. Dupree, in the meanwhile, though, the one player that was on A, is going to bag himself the 1 frag. And by getting that kill, it now opens the eyes of the rest of Astralis. We're like, okay, now we're interested again. Let's go for this.
Dupree actually repositioning, too, and it's going to probably... The Terrace is going to have to worry about T-Con now.
Well, he's probably fairly irritated with himself for not finishing off that frag. Dupree, in the meanwhile, will try and finish off what he started. And there's the spray by Flamey. Kirby, he's a real talent, the last player left. Has a kit and a couple flashes. Does spot Flamey on top of it, so that's at least some information that's been gathered. Is he just going to hold onto this site? No, he's going to fake it and draw Flamey back out into the open. Goes for the spray, but Flamey's up to the task. Survives on 38 health. Astralis will concede another round, and this will likely be a save.
Good clutch by Flamey there. Some weird flashbangs by Kirby, but yeah, it's not going to work out. Just throwing some random flashes. Kind of baiting Flamey to peek him, though. So, good play in that scenario, but not able to close it out. So many rounds to work with. Only grabbing 2 upgraded pistols. Nothing to worry about for Astralis.
Absolutely. Well, they're just going to force this one home. They must realise that Astralis are into some kind of an eco. Just tapping through the smoke. His mate affects a couple of taps, but obviously not really able to get too much done with this pistol right now. Guardian with 1, Edward with another. I'm just curious if Zipex can get anything done, and as I say that, gets executed alongside Kirby. 6-14. NaVi are making a go of this, but Astralis, all they have to do is just win the round, and they're odds-on favourite.
Is this the first time Device isn't off on CT side? I think it might be.
So, yeah.
So yeah, now they'll actually be able to challenge long range Ivy, hold Ivy, get some T-Con information with the op. So, see what Device has to bring here.
So was Flamey and Seized. A dynamic duo pushing up onto the Ivy side. Device with his AWP. Was looking into T main a few moments prior around that location and now decides to dart across to the other side. He's peeking up to see if any terrorists jump up there. If they do, they're going to be dead. Pretty standard stuff,
just
though.
delaying his smoke at Ivy as long as he possibly can. He knows there's 2 at Ivy now. They just double naded, so able to call that out. But this is just a default from NaVi so far.
Certainly has seemed that way for both teams, honestly. A lot of default plays, a lot of slow, steady Counter-Strike. Coming to a climax in the last 20-30 seconds. I mean, NaVi for the longest time were just notorious for being that kind of a team on their T side. C's now going to be peeking around onto Kia. B does land the headshot to that entry frag. Is going to give a lot of advantages now into the side of the T half. C's going to be just charging through the smoke and flash, fearing no man. Goes for the spray, comes out second best, worst for wear. Dupree now holding fast with the pop flash, looking behind him for the spray, lands the first one. We could see slightly tweaked away at the worst possible second. It's going to cost him his life and potentially Astralis the round. And it's looking more and more likely as the bodies continue to fall. Device and his trusty AWP with a monumentous task ahead of them.
Yeah, and Caribbean. Oh, I'll wait for this. Device just seeing someone on the bomb train here, but probably going to save his op. But as you can see here, the way Caribbean plays Ivy is they hold Ivy. He just kind of played in the little corner there at the end of Ivy. And usually teams will kind of play their CT side to counter themselves as to how they play their T side. So if there's a lot of pressure coming into Ivy on Astralis' side, which was true, because they think that's like a key part of the map, usually on their CT side, they'll kind of be, you know, their CT side setup will kind of be countering themselves as if they were terrorists. So Caribbean hasn't gave Ivy yet, and finally got punished for it though.
4 rounds in a row to NaVi. Still a long, long trek ahead of them if they want to get even remotely close to getting us back to equality. But certainly starting in the right way, especially after losing that pistol. I thought this is just done. This is a done deal. Hasn't necessarily been the case. Pause called. Again, just a sigh of relief or a brief respite for Astralis to try and rummage together a few ideas.
Yeah, NaVi playing well on the T side as well. Putting a lot of pressure at Ivy, squeezing the CTs. I think Dupree was stuck in sandwich there, getting sandwiched, and ended up getting a 2K, but there's just so many people at every angle that it's really tough to hold.
And these kind of rounds, I'll really see something different. I'm just curious. Like, obviously, Device has his AWP, so that is a power play. There's some potential for NaVi, but sorry, Astralis, pardon me. The rest of the team, there will be actually stacking on the A side, so I guess this does make a bit of sense. You have the power play on B, rest stacking up, seeing what they can get done. Deagle 5-7s.
I like this play. Device gonna lock down enter, get an early pick, put all the other pistols on the outside bomb site.
Ooh, down to 18. Glaive will fall. Did do a bit of damage as well with the P250. Edward feeling the punch there, down to 44 himself. Glaive, as soon as he gets worse for on that trade, scared about a stray grenade hitting him in the face. In the chops, he will back away. Meanwhile, Device on the other side of the map does actually pick up a kill. I'm not sure if that weapon is salvageable for Zipex, who's instantly rotated his way across, but here comes the Ivy presence showing itself. Seized, here's somebody coming through as the peak in the worst possible second, gets both kills. What is happening here? Glaive lands 2 P250 frags, and in a round that NaVi were looking so good in terms of just raw firepower. They're in a 2-on-4. And it's just got a whole lot worse. Device is absolutely obliterated simple up on the train, leaving Edwards in a 1-on-3. He does have the bomb. He's about to walk into Device, and Device will get his third in the round. Full house of frags, 3 for Device, 2 for Glaive. And what a way for Astralis to get 8 map points.
I absolutely loved how mobile Device was that round. He gets to pick up low ramp, and he instantly knifes out, goes all the way back hall, and sets up at Ivy. And just gets 2 more frags, or gets 1 more frag outside, and then instantly rotates back to inner and gets another frag. That's super great play by Device to just instantly keep rotating his op, being the solo gun on the map. And that was pretty funny. I was watching it from Simple's POV. He just peeks up the ladder and just Device rips his head off. So some insane shots that round from him.
Very nicely done. Dupree looking for the spray. Not quite able to get a second one. Edward through with 2. Down to 3 HP though on the retreat through and popped off. Kirby now steps up but gets put down almost instantly. Device is looking for the frag on the cross. Gonna miss his first opportunity and the second one. Here that NaVi aren't done in this map just yet. Maybe Zipex has something to say about that though. Smoking his approach to the site. He's going to get picked off by Seized. So, Astralis unable to get 2 rounds in a row. NaVi seemingly still in this.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking good on the T side for sure, but they just have nothing to work with. 1 round and Astralis wins. I mean, you got to think within the next couple of rounds, Astralis can get 1 more round. And the one they won was actually with pistols, so... not sweating time yet for Astralis.
Definitely shouldn't be too worried about this. Still got so much time ahead of them. So many rounds ahead of them. NaVi, we've been here before. This time they don't have as much presence over on the Ivy side of the map, but that could definitely be a sign of things to come up on the B side. It's just Seized who's lagging behind on T main to make sure no one gets around the back of the T's. A device in his deagle here. This could be a disaster for NaVi, especially if they peek this one slowly, but it's not going to be. Device slightly missing out on that first shot will cost him his life. And now the floodgates have opened once again. Glaive is trying to get round the back with his P250. He did have a couple of shots that give the position away. A clear-cut round. NaVi just 1 shy of the double digits.
This is the round. Device has an op. Actually, Dupree has a Mag 7. Dupree is 26-9 right now. He shot up out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was really him and Device. I think they were on like 17-2, 15-2 at one point, so they've been playing exceptionally well throughout here. Even the rounds they've been losing, they've been getting kills. It's not been really a shutout for NaVi. Maybe 1 round they've got flawlessly. That's not a great buy for Astralis, but they have tagged Edward down to 24. Mag 7 is A-OK for Dupree. He's running that one close range and pop dog.
Yeah, that can be so deadly in ladder room. It can just one-tap you before you can even react.
Certainly a brutal weapon to deal with. Dupree may not be called into action just yet, as it would appear that none of the terrorists are too interested at this stage. The bomb's still way back on the T side of Ali in the hands of Flamey, who's still seemingly caught in 2 minds as to which way he's going to push. His teammates have already got a bit of control over Ivy, with Seized going in first, with Guardian just behind him. So we've seen this set up quite a few times on both sides.
Yeah, this is going to be tough for Kirby to hold this. No utility, just sitting at the end of 6 train. Have to get a multi-frag.
Well, if he can pull it off, then that would put Astralis in such a fantastic position. It would effectively cordon off one area of the map. They could focus their attention over onto team main side, but Kirby decides to move away. The smoke lands into a position that surely is going to get checked. The flame's going to make it a little bit more difficult for him to get that spray on point, and Flamey will come round for a quick fire double. So almost the polar opposite of what we were expecting to happen comes into play. 1 kill has came back for Astralis, making a second, and Zipnex comes in for a third. And there's Device as well. The blink of an eye this round quickly shifts in the favour of Astralis, who have done it. We mentioned they're only 1 round away. They had time to burn. And NaVi unable to make the glorious